Poca Show, baby. I'm back. And 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 I'm back, y'all. And I'm back, y'all. And I'm back, y'all. And I'm back, y'all. And I'm back. It's the Poca Show, yeah. It's the Poca Show, yeah. It's the Poca Show, yeah. It's the Poca Show, baby. Yep. Cause I'm back. Peace, love, and positivity to you all. I am speaking from a spiritual place. I am spiritually inclined. I am spiritually here. I've been in my spiritual place, my peaceful place. I'm filming in my peaceful place right now. I felt like it would be a wonderful vibe. Excuse me, a wonderful vibe. And a wonderful vibe that I can give you all. Clear my throat. Love. Okay, I'm ready. Okay. I am here. Okay, so you guys, I miss you guys. I miss talking to you guys. It's been great for me. It's been peaceful. I've been blessed. It doesn't even have to be material things. I'm just grateful of just day by day stuff. I'm grateful for everyday life things. I wake up blessed, happy. I don't have it every day. I'm a human being, so you know, we have days that we wake up, we not feeling it. We have days we wake up and we just want to go back to bed. A lot of times, if I wake up and I felt like I woke up on the wrong side of the bed, I'll go back to sleep and try it again. Everybody's not capable of doing that. If you are, try it. Make you have a better day. Sometimes you can go to bed, you can have a dream or a nightmare or something that just, sometimes you have a dream and you wake up, you can't even remember your dream, but you do remember that you pissed off and you don't know why. That's a bad energy and a vibe that's trying to linger throughout your day. So what I do, if I'm able to, if I woke up on the wrong side of the bed, I try to take me a quick nap just to kind of redo it. I do stuff like that. End up having a better day, or you know, it just turns out better for me. Another thing I want to talk about. I want to talk about love, loyalty. I want to talk about family, building foundations, loving yourself. We all know that we have to love ourselves first. We have to have self-love before we can actually love someone else. A lot of time people are like, hey, I love myself. I love me. Actuality, you don't really know what it feels like until you actually fell in love with yourself again. I'll put it like that. When you fall in love with yourself again, it's a different feeling. And it's like life just kind of, you know, just smooth. It's smooth sailing then. You're loving on your other half more. You know what I'm saying? When I say self-love, that doesn't always mean you're single, you're by yourself. You can be married and have self-love. You can be, in a relationship for 20, 30 years and you have this. You have to have self-love. It's nothing wrong and nothing negative about having self-love and loving yourself. Now, I did bring up the topic of family because I love family. I actually built my own family to the family that I always kind of dreamed of having. When you're a kid, I want this, I want that, I want family this. I created that, and now I'm creating everybody's, not creating their energy. I'm kind of showing them how to be in tune with their own positive energy. We can actually all be around the house and not talk to each other for a day or two or a couple days or whatever. And we will all separately grow on our own. You see what I'm saying? And then come back around each other and we all notice the growth. But just because we don't talk for a couple of days, that's not negative. Everybody, we like to have our time. I love to have my own time. It doesn't mean I'm mad. It doesn't mean that I just want to be by myself. No, I love my family. I love my kids, my husband, everybody. But I love me and I love the time that I have with myself. Self-love is when you're actually somewhere with yourself, by yourself, being in tune with yourself. Self-care is like, we like to get our nails done, facials, massages. That's self-care. That's maintenance. But it's not necessarily self-love because you haven't actually was by yourself. You need time to reflect, to see who you are. And I promise you, once you kind of dig into you will actually find out things about yourself you didn't even know. That's why I tell people, if it's stuff you want to do or things you want to try, I don't care how weird it is, as long as you're not hurting nobody and you're not hurting yourself, screw it, do it. Because that's when you kind of start learning you. And, I learn me often and I love it. And sometimes I like to just meditate and relax and just clear my mind from the whole world. Family, I do strongly believe that, I don't want to start no type of racial war or nothing, but I'm speaking for my black people. Our race is one of the most talked about race. My black and brown people are the most talked about race. One thing specifically though, black people got to learn to stick together. It's so much negativity, it's so much competing. Nobody wants nobody to be ahead of nobody. If somebody sees somebody doing something better than them, they want to down them, they want to discredit them. You got white folks do it too, but I know that black families are mainly being divided, and I know the system play a major part. The system play a major part in that. That's why when you have issues, you have situations with your family, or if you're not married, you just have a baby daddy or a baby father, or your kid's father, whatever you want to call it. It's good to not have everybody in your business, because that goes from everybody to next thing you know, if you go from everybody, you're going into the system. Once you get the system in your business, it's hard to get them out. And it's created to keep our households divided. It's created to keep the male out of the household. Most of the times when people, and I could be wrong or whatever, because I don't know, I'm just thinking of back in the day how it was when you're like on Section 8 or stuff, and you can have a place but you can't have the man in the household. Weird, right? They don't want the man in the household. When you getting inspections, and they have to come and look, and you got to make sure if you got a man staying there that none of his shit is in the house, or you can get kicked out. That's kind of messed up. You see what I'm saying? But it's created to keep us divided. And that goes down to our kids. Now it's affecting the kids. Because one, now the kids don't know what a family is supposed to look like. Kids don't have that father figure to look up to. They not there. It's pride, system, and other issues I'm not even naming, and I'm probably not gonna address. But if you want to talk about it, cool, we can talk about it. But I know the system is designed for Black and brown to fail. It's designed for Black and brown to fail. You see what I'm saying? You're put into these neighborhoods that's really bad, with no father in the household. Kids don't have really too much to look up to, because it's either the parent, it's the mom there, and the mom either working like a dog and never at home, but that's the only way she can pay her bills. Or if you're getting the government assistance and Section 8 and stuff, some women don't even choose to work because they're afraid of losing those benefits. Why? Because they're afraid of making it. They don't feel like they can make it in the world without those benefits. So they choose not to work a job because that will ruin their benefits. So now your kids is looking up to you, and your daughters, and they're looking up to you, and that's kind of the same cycle they're going to use. Excuse me. And then you also have the sons. The sons don't have the fathers in the household. They don't have the sons in the household. I mean, the fathers in the household, so therefore the guidance is coming from the streets. And you're getting the guidance from the streets. Okay. So now you're looking up to the streets, whether it's drug dealers, whatever. That's what you think a man is supposed to be. And so now you're worried about your sons being in the streets and being a victim. It's going from being a victim to now police brutality, because that's your next fear. Everybody who have a Black son, our fear is basically them being killed or tricked out the streets because of their color and their surroundings and their upbringings. Even though it's a lot in the world we can't change, but it's stuff within our home we can. Let's keep these Black families together. That's the only way we'll be stronger and defeat a lot of these obstacles that's in the world. I'm not knocking nobody with government assistance or nothing like that. I promise you I'm not. But let's use that for like a stepping stone to get on your feet, so that you and your family can have a better upbringing, so you and your family can have a different situation. Because one thing about the government, they give it to you, they can snatch it away. You need to be able to survive when they do snatch it away. That should not be nothing that you depend on, because once you start depending on that and they take it away, you don't know how to survive then. So now you're going to make sure the male, the dad, the father is not in the household, and you're going to make sure you don't work because you want to keep your benefits. That's part of the system. That's how they create that to help you fail. They put it in a way for saying that, okay, it's to help families, needing families, but it's really destroying you. Because once you get your life back in your hands and you have your family solid again, every situation, and just because you had a baby by somebody does not mean that's where you need to be. I'm not saying be in a stupid relationship just for the kids, because I'm not saying that. But if it's, something like stuff you can work past and work to, if you're better as a team, then keep that. It's nothing like a teammate, especially if y'all just had some ups and downs. Every relationship has ups and downs. If it's something you can bear through, and I know you guys probably thinking like, oh, she's talking like the old people back in the day and how your grandma and your granddaddy stayed together no matter what. I'm not saying be stupid, be foolish, or a dummy. None of that. But some of that pride you gotta let go. That's with the men and the women. And that's why a lot of these households are divided. And a lot of these households aren't stable. And the kids are looking up to that. So when your kids are young, you got to especially pay attention and be that positive role model, because they're sponges at that point. That's the perfect time to mold your child and to grow them and teach them to the adult they need to be. In the household, speaking, if the mom works, the kids are going to be like, okay, well, I know I need to work. If the parents run businesses, my leg going to sleep. But if the parents have businesses that they're running, the kids are looking up to the parents like, hey, I want a business one day. They're thinking business mind. It's like, it's so much I can say and go on for that, because like I say, I'm not speaking on all households, but I do know that it's something we can do to change the generation curse of how our kids grow up. And a lot of times as parents, we will raise these kids the best way that we possibly can, and they still go straight off to do the total opposite than what we're trying to teach them and train them to do and be. That's not our fault. We did what we could. But as long as you have a solid household and a solid foundation, as long as your son have a father figure to look up to, because a lot of times women feel that we can raise a boy. We can't. We're not designed to raise a man. We can try our hardest. We can do everything we can. We can do what we think a man's supposed to do and train our child and teach our son that, but we are not men. We don't have genitals, balls. We don't pee standing up. We don't, it's just manly things that only a man can teach their son. You see what I'm saying? It's only possible for a man to do that. And we can't pull a man by his collar and his ear and tell him come and raise his child, because some men, and excuse my language, but some men ain't shit but a sperm donor to a bitch. Think about it. I'm not talking about a woman. And I'm not talking about a man. I'm really talking about some niggas ain't shit but a sperm donor to a bitch. Think about that and let that sink in. But you got some men that are really men and just have bitter baby mamas. That's your fault. You knew who you was laying down with. You chose. And a lot of times you don't know, and that's still your fault, because you should have took time to know who you were laying down with. Because one thing for sure, two things for certain, you know that person gonna be in your life forever. Past when the baby turned 18, they gonna still be in your life. And that's something you got to deal with. So when you watch their actions and see the red flags and you ignore it and you still lay down because it's lust at the time, that's your fault. Now you got to deal with the consequences. Now you can't take whatever out on your child because you made a bad decision. That's not fair. But if you have that support system, and if you have that teammate and y'all just disagree every now and then, or you have a lot of people in your business and a lot of people that's used to come in on your relationship, you need to eliminate those people. And not just that, stop putting your business out there on the streets. Stop putting your business out there on social media. Because why, my loves? Because that gives them the right to comment on your life because you put it on display. So yes, let's talk about eliminating people out of your relationship and your personal life. Let's work on keeping a black household together. It's bad enough we got to go out here and fight the world. You don't want to go home and fight each other. You want to at least go home and know that you got a stable household. You got a solid foundation. You have your support system. You have your rock. You understand what I'm saying? And it's almost pretty much nothing you can't do once you have that. I say all day long, yes, you can make it by yourself. But when you have a teammate, it just make things a little bit easier versus doing stuff on your own, because you'll still make it on your own. It just be a little bit harder and it take a little more time. And some people, you know, I see some people, I've talked about this before, some people got razzled dazzled a little because they've been single for so long or lonely for so long, and that's not my fault. I'm not speaking on y'all. I don't know y'all relationships. But when I have a word that's in me, and sometimes God put it in me to talk about, I'm going to talk about it. So if it hit, dot, holler, or if the shoe fit, lace it up and put it on, I guess. I mean, I don't know. But you have to look at it and stop blaming the world for you being by yourself. If you chose to be by yourself, then kudos. But if you don't and you want to be in a relationship, then you can't blame it on everybody else. Out of all of those people, you got to look within yourself and see, hey, what did I do wrong? What am I not doing? Or maybe I'm choosing the wrong people. That can be all those things. And sometimes, you know, people aren't really, I guess everybody is not meant to be with somebody, I guess. I don't know, but I honestly felt like everybody has something for somebody. Somebody have somebody in the world. And we all have that pair. You probably haven't met yours yet. You probably have had it in your face the whole time and you ignored it. So many things. But that's going into relationship, you guys. I'm going into relationships. So, okay. Let me get y'all a little closer. Okay, so going back into peace and positivity as well. Sadness, all of those things, we're gonna be like, it's gonna be a roller coaster this year. But it's also a test in your faith. Once God put things in your life and it seems like an obstacle, and you feel like, God, why are you putting this on me out of everybody? It's the obstacle, it's the challenge. He knows you. He created you, so he know what you can bear and handle. You may not know how strong you really are until a situation happens, but God knows your strength. That's why he don't put more on you than you can bear, because he knows what you can bear. He knows what you can handle. He's testing your faith in him. He's putting situations in your life because he knows that he has something major coming for you. A big blessing. It's going to be a big situation and an obstacle. But you're going to look back years later and be like, dang, I remember when this happened. Dang, God, this happening now, 3 years later. Now I see why you took me through what you took me through 3 years ago, because I'm prepared now. I'm mentally stable. I'm mentally prepared. It's like planning things. You can plan things out to the T. And I'm a planner myself, meaning I plan everything in life. I go off of times to the T. You know what I'm saying? But just because you plan something does not mean it's gonna go as planned. Be prepared for stuff to kind of linger off to the side and go another way.